Attention please. Today we begin the treasure hunt. Travel across Paldea. Get to know the region.
Jumping into the story, we have the newest region of Paldea. Our protagonist finds himself neighbors to the best rival of any Pokemon game. Granted, there's not much competition when the last two rivals were a stalker and a guy on the brink of committing a Kurt Cobain every time he loses a battle. But a common theme with the game, these characters are phenomenal. Not only the perfect designs, but their personalities for the most part are super fun. There are a few gym leaders I wasn't really big on, but characters like the VTuber girl, Grusha, and the man with the plan, Larry. The main premise of the game is you go to school, but as soon as you get to school, they kick you out, send you into the wilderness to send you on some fake-ass treasure hunt. Like, your so-called treasure hunt is to beat all of the gyms, take down all these Titan Pokemon, and beat Team Starfall. How the hell did anyone pass but me? What did everyone else do? Like, did Timmy just find a bunch of, like, Starlies lying around and that was his treasure hunt? Like, it's not very clear what they're doing. I did not run into a single one of my 10 FPS classmates anywhere in the world. But like I mentioned before, there are three main stories. Right off the bat, the gym battles were certainly the best ones. Each gym leader, you get to learn a little bit more about their character, even outside of the gym battles. Like, sometimes you'll just see them like in the schools or just wandering around, which was pretty cool. However, the trials before each gym battle are absolute dog shit. I give this story like a solid B. The second story is the Titans. My boy Arvin, he got his dog sick. We got to heal him up with some magic weed that the other Pokemon have been eating that have some sort of mysterious powers based off of Arvin's book, the Scarlet book or the Violet book, depending on your version. It's simple and has fun goals for it. I'd give it like a B+. Now, the worst story goes to Team Starfall. Some losers got sad about being bullied, so they hid in random areas for a year and a half, waiting for me to come along, kick their ass. And they all have like really stupid reasons for being there. And their leader looks like they smell of Fritos and Five Nights at Freddy's theory videos. Now, spoiler warning, there is a final story. You beat the three previous ones, and that unlocks the Area Zero. And regardless of how iffy some of the past stories were, it is absolutely worth it for this final story. This final piece of the puzzle is badass. Not only does it get pretty dark for a Pokemon game, just the area you explore is super interesting. And I won't go into too much detail, but essentially the people that you've made friends with along the way all team up alongside you, and there's actually like a lot of banter as you're playing the game. It's not just to cutscenes, which I wish was something that they had in the entire game, but it's mostly scripted just to this one section. Now, the gameplay is typically around the exact same it's been throughout all of the Pokemon games. Is it fun? Yes. Is the new gimmick fun? I mean, kind of. It just looks stupid. Have we really run out of all the cool transformation ideas to where we've now hit, bam, chandelier on the head? Well, this leads to a new addition. Basically, it's more for the competitive scene. You terrestrialize a Pokemon, and it gains a typing that it may or may not currently have. Like, for example, if you have a Vaporeon and you have it terrestrialized into a fire type, it's now no longer weak to electricity. As for the main environment and exploring, this is the shittiest open world I have ever played in. Everything from pointless hills that melt as you walk by them, to your Pokemon motorcycle not being able to climb the slightest of hills. Now, here's the thing. As you beat the Titans, your future or past bike gets some more abilities. These abilities are the only thing that make playing through this world bearable. When I started the game out, walking through this bare open box of sand was so boring. Pokemon fading in and out of existence, and a few small towns in between. Another thing I'm not huge on with the open world is how it basically lies to you up front. The game is presented to you in a go anywhere you want, any gym in order sort of a vibe. So of course, the way I like to play is I will go to the very end of the map and try to make my way back. But you can't do that unless you grind up for hours upon days. This is impossible. Instead of the gym leaders leveling up alongside you, you just find out the unfortunate way which ones are going to kick your ass faster than the others. I don't mind a tough fight, but when the game is telling me I can go to any gym in any order, no holds barred, I expect it to be at the very least possible. It's the same with any of the stories. You have to start from the bottom and make your way up. Now, with those two main features out of the way, there is actually a whole nother third to the game that you might have completely forgotten about: the school section. And yes, I went through the entire school system. I have taken every single class, every single quiz, exam, all of them. Don't get me wrong, the idea of a Pokemon school is actually really cool, and some of the teachers have really cool designs. But aside from the first time you go to the school, you literally never have to come back. And even when you do, unfortunately, it's kind of pointless. There's a bunch of classes you can take, and after doing all of it, it does equal a couple of hours worth of gameplay. But it's more or less just you mashing A through a bunch of pointless pop quiz questions. Weirdly enough, they try to do like a persona thing. Like, for example, in each class, you can talk to a teacher and they sort of have like a mission for you. If you talk to them enough times, it'll say that your bond is getting better with them. And by the end of the mission, you've completely gained their trust. But again, there's no point to doing this. It doesn't change anything in the school, whereas in Persona, leveling up someone's bond gives you sort of benefits, whether it's on the battlefield or in other parts of the gameplay entirely. At the end of all these mini conversations, you just get either XP candy or sometimes literally nothing. The music's a bop. It's always been a bop. It's never not going to be a bop. You got my boy Toby Fox. Oh, okay, not bad. But now you got Ed Sheeran. Now we are talking. Pokemon Maroon is going to need a Lady Gaga song. Let's go. Replayability comes down to two factors for Pokemon games: catching them all and the competitive side. As for catching them all, I got every single one. For how much I hated some of the gameplay, catching them all was pretty easy for the most part. The only annoying ones are Relor and the other ones that you have to walk. As for the competitive side of things, that's not really my ballpark for Pokemon, but according to my friend who is deep into it, there are some Pokemon who have already been banned just because they have either broken moves or busted Terra types. In conclusion, is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet worth the price? No, this is $30 at most. If this was some small company, I would give it the benefit of the doubt, but this is a billion-dollar company. This game was playtested by actual monkeys. This is something that easily could have been worked on in the oven for another 6 months, and I could easily see some improvements. But unfortunately, with how Game Freak is not really in the social circle when it comes to this stuff, I really doubt, aside from a few bugs here and there, that they're going to improve it very much. And as fun as the multiplayer can be, as good as the combat is, how adorable some of these designs are, it shows that there really is a half-decent game here, but it is not a complete one. For now, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet get an unfortunate 2 out of 5. I hope that by the time the DLC comes out, there will have been some major improvements, but for now, with the major flaws in the game, but a very fun system at the core, hopefully the score can only get better from here. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you got this far, make sure to hit that little sub dude down there and the bell to see every review that comes out for more Grant Guy coming your way.